Welcome to the Soul Tribe Podcast. The Soul Tribe Podcast was created to help you navigate through the world of spirituality, wellness, and self-development in an easy, grounded, and relatable way. We break down everything from the Akashic Records, manifesting, spirituality, and so much more. We want to help expand your boundaries and bring the spiritual world to you in a fun and easy way. Get ready to be inspired with tips, tools, and easy to digest information. Let's do this.
Okay, welcome guys back to another episode with the Soul Tribe Podcast. Today we have an interview with Vee. We have you back.
Yes.
Welcome back. Welcome.
I'm so excited to be back. You guys are my sisters from all around the world, you know, both of you. I got one of y'all all the way in motherfucking Holland and, you know, all the way out in the middle of nowhere. Then I got another one of you guys living it up in the Caribbean. And then here I am in the middle of goddamn Arizona. So it's nice that we're all able to connect again. And again, thank you guys so freaking much for having me back on. It's just like vibing with you guys is just so much fun for me.
I was going to ask you where you live because I see you post that you're like in the Grand Canyon and all these really cool places I've never been. And I always thought I never asked Vee where she lives.
Yes, I'm in Arizona. I just moved here a few months ago from California. So yeah, I'm usually a California bitch, but I mean, now I'm living in Arizona since September. So we're going on October, 4 months. Yes, I'm still counting my fingers. I literally just had to count my fingers. So I was like, October, all right, yeah, 4 months.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. God. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, and like what I do in my downtime, as you said, Lucia, like I'm in the Grand Canyon, I'm in Vegas, I'm doing something. I have to, and I mean it on the core of the pit of my gut. I have to get out. I have to travel. It's like, it just does something for my energy and vibration where it's like, if I don't go nature after a few days, and no, I don't mean I have to travel to like big ass national parks all the time, but I have to do something, even if it's like a local park, just because like I'll go insane. I'll snap at a bitch. I have to get out the house. Like I have to be out in nature. And it's just, it's so fucking restorative. And, you know, as you guys know, as being like empaths, intuitives, you know how important it is. Like if we don't take care of our own energy and just kind of like, all right, y'all, I need some time for myself. Like you guys everyone will see a nasty side, or not just a nasty side. It doesn't have to be that extreme, but I would say that, you know, it's just really important to take care of our vibration and to maintain it in whatever form that is. And for me, it just happens to be nature and laughter. As you guys know, I love cracking a damn joke. I can't help it. I can't help it. Gotta laugh.
I love it. That's why I love you. Yeah, I have you back. We have you back on. And last time I had you, I was having issues with my ears, and I'm having the same issue again. Are you again? It's going zhoo, zhoo, zhoo. You know what I mean? That noise? You guys know that?
Yes, I know exactly.
Yeah, last time too.
That's interesting. Again, like I'm saying, girl, all of our energies all at one time. This shit's gonna short circuit, and it's Mercury retrograde.
Wouldn't Mercury retrograde make it take a step back somehow?
Damn, you're right. Actually, yeah, you're right. So you know what? I take this as a sign that 3 powerful bitches all in one space, vibes are high. And sometimes, and this is what I've always recognized, sometimes when when the vibrations change in a room, obviously we're not literally together, but you know, energy transcends time and space, right? So, but what I always believed is that when it fluctuates in vibration really strongly, we start to hear ringing, or when like energy's in the room or some kind of frequency change, our ear starts to ring, because it's like our body's response to all this random energy that just boom, hit us, and our physical body responds, sometimes through ear ringing, sometimes through the chills and the, you know, and heat, temperature changes. So that's like extra spirit shit. But just wanted to just kind of say that. I just think it's pretty damn awesome how sensitive you are, like intuitively, Lucia. God damn. Like I think that's like amazing. You're powerful. I mean, so are you, Lorena, obviously. I'm not leaving you out, Lorena.
Don't worry,
I mean,
I know. It's all good.
Yeah, you already know. She's like, bitch, I know I'm powerful.
I don't know. I think it's the conjunction of like all of us on the call at the same time. Like you said, like it doesn't matter that we're all in different places. Like for our soul, we're all connecting right now.
Exactly. On the deepest of soul levels. So If that ain't a good sign, I don't know what is. Let the ringing begin, guys.
So I want to know how you've been, because I mean, I don't remember when we talked to you last, but I mean, there's been quite a few things going on in the world since the last time we spoke to you. So how has it been for you, like on a personal note, like how have you taken it? Has it made it worse for you? Has it empowered you? Like, how has it impacted your life?
Wow, that's a good question. Yeah, and it's weird because I can't even remember what year we talked in. Is it just me, or do you guys feel like 2020, 2021 felt like one bundled year?
Yes.
Like I literally, guys, can't distinguish what happened in 2020. Like when I think of like family events or anything like big in my life, like I can't remember if it was 2021 or 2020. Like that's how meshed up the years felt like. And so personally, it just felt like with everything that happened, like's been going on in the world, it just kind of like, it did make me reflect on a few things. It just like how it personally impacted me. I just felt like I was rearranging my life and figuring out what's really important for me. And so with that deep reflection, brings up all the feels and emotions. So I tend to just kind of, I deal with my emotions, and then I'm just like, all right, y'all taking over now. Now we got to move on, So I'm the kind of person who likes to let go, not dwell on shit. So I've realized what I've learned, deep lessons, and personally how it changed my life, like at least stuff that's going on in the world, obviously led to a move. Sometimes like after living somewhere, you realize like, I love this place. Like I love California. I will always have a place in my soul no matter what, but I have to give myself a clean slate, a chance to view life in a new lens, to experience it in a new way, in a new environment. And so I've been all about trying new stuff because life is way too short. And what I've been personally going through with like personal changes with family dynamics and, friendships and things like that. And so really these last couple of years have really personally, I would say, the lesson of truly letting go and really not dwelling. That is what I've been really focusing on. And also personally, anything else, I really want a cat, but I'm not sure if this has nothing to do with anything, but I really want a cat. And I've always been a cat lady all my life. I've always had cats since I was like 6, I've always loved cats, but I've been, because I'm always like on the go doing stuff. I'm like, should I get one? Should I not? So that's my 2022 goal, is getting my little pet child, but I haven't thought about it. I mean, I haven't done the detailed, like really going to go to like, because me, I'm an adopter. Like I would totally adopt, that's just who I am. So I would have to go to a shelter soon, or I just haven't figured out the timing. So that's really, really what's new to me. Oh, and just like, hanging out in outer fucking space and, talking to dead people, other than talking to dead people, spirits and aliens and everything in between. Life's pretty all right.
That sounds amazing. Oh, I love what you said about the animal. Like right now, my dog's actually at the vet and she's not here. And the energy here feels so different. Having an animal in your life just changes everything.
I
in
agree.
Such a good way.
Yes, Lorena, I agree. And it's like, I have been without a pet for these last couple of years of my life. And it's just been like, every time I'm not saying like, oh, my life is just devastating without one, but I really agree with what you said, Lorena. It does improve the quality of your life, like having another beautiful soul. Because, animals are just as, in my opinion, like I consider them little, like they're just as much as a big soul as we do as humans, just a different body of a soul, just a different form. But my heart, just love them, love animals.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you. So if you see a random post of a cat, no, I finally adopted. So it's sometime this year. That's my goal.
I mean, when I became a Akashic Records reader, the first thing I did, because I already wanted an animal, I went to get a cat because my grandma always taught me that cats energetically protect you.
Yes. I've heard about that, Lucia, that they're extremely psychic and they see all those spirits. They can, when I used to have a cat, my cat would, there was only certain people who would come over and it would still kind of hang out in the living room with us. And then there were certain people who would come over and my cat would just jolt and run. Normally cats jolt and run usually, but sometimes my cat would stick around with certain people. So I could always like, I could tell who has a good energy right now. And who's just full of shit, Yeah,
they also don't they transmute energy too? Like that's what I always understood from like different people that talk about cats and energy, right? They help transform the energy. So if there's like bad energy, they'll like sit on something and they can just transmute it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard about that too. I totally believe in that. I've read that somewhere as well. And I totally agree, especially with when they start purring. I mean, those vibrations though.
Yes. When I meditate at night, my cat's name is Buddha. When I meditate at night, Buddha will usually come between my legs. And it's almost like he knows, it's like he feels the energy coming in. I'm bringing energy down. And he's like, I want to be a part of this.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And I love that your cat's name is Buddha. I mean, how cute is that?
I know, right?
Yeah, that is super cute. And that makes sense because the cat's like, damn, this bitch is living in a high vibration. Let me suck up some of these energies and add to it. You know, I love
that. Completely. I was going to actually ask you, so then that's good. You did the move. Do you feel like the energy in Arizona, because I've heard from the Akashic Records, them talk about this before. I've heard that the energy there is very good.
It is. Just as I completely 100% confirm, back that up. You're 100% right. Cause me, you know, as I'm intuitive too, and I definitely feel the energy here. It's a lot more clear for me. I guess I don't know if the word like clear, breathe, I can breathe. I could breathe in California. California has a great energy, but Arizona definitely, I think it's because a lot of the state is very untouched. It is. It's a lot of more, it's very wild here. Let's just say that the people are wild as fuck too. But it's amazing though. The energy is really good here. It is and you know, like I said, any Arizonians who listen, this is not me talking shit. This is actually me saying how much I love y'all wild asses. I love it here. I really do. Cause I'm a wild bitch too. So we all can be wild here, wild westing it up here in Arizona, you know?
I love it. And actually, like something we've been talking about for 2022, and I know you probably made this move a little bit before the year started, but how for us, what we keep feeling and seeing, and even through numerology, it's like a year of action. And we do feel like that energy of people wanting, like we know a lot of people in our lives that are coming to us for readings, and they ask about moves and changing things. Do you feel like maybe any advice you'd give to anybody about moving? Because it's a huge deal, especially you moved to a state, which is huge. You know, the United States is huge. Some people are talking about moving countries. So to like a different culture and like a different language, like what would your advice be? Or like, now that you've gone through this, like, what would you say to people because, you know, they know that they need to make the change, but they might be scared, or, I mean, you're very intuitive. So I'm sure you follow that guidance as well, right?
Yes. You know what I would say? I would say, motherfucking do it. You know why? Because think about it. For so long, we always find excuses for why not to do things. I mean, I swear to you guys, it feels like the human brain is just programmed sometimes to always find why something couldn't work out. Be more logical, be practical. You shouldn't make a move right now. You know, it's always something. And I think that, like you said, with this numerology and everything being about changes and, you know, starting over and doing things in a new way, I think that we deserve to give ourselves the chance to try something new. Regardless if we fall on our face, even if we do move, my advice is to fucking do it. If you have the money, obviously I'm still a Capricorn sun. You know me, at the end of the day, I'm not going to say like just ball out of control. Like, you know, like you're like some millionaire taking out loans. I would obviously suggest to do it somewhat in your means. If you technically have the savings, you technically have it, I say fucking do it. But if you have to ask like 4,000 different people for money just to do this, I would take that as a sign to hell no, don't fucking move. But if you actually have something and you're just like mentally talking yourself out of it, although you have the actual beans, fucking do it. Because what I've learned by taking a chance, like, although I am a diehard, you know, California person, I love California, and I was really kind of like 50-50 on the move, but my gut kept telling me to do it. And I did have the means, so it wasn't like I was like dying for change to move. But I would say this, I have noticed a huge change in me by doing it, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So sometimes when we don't get the answers we need until we take that risk in life, like we really don't. And sometimes people are like, well, you know, I've asked spirit for 50,000 signs that this is the right move, but I'm not getting anything. And when people come to me with that, I'm like, you know why? Because spirit's advice is in the question. Do it. Spirits, if you ask spirit like 50 different times, should I move? Should I move? Should I move? Obviously, the answer is within your question. And not just that, but it's also, if you don't get an answer, sometimes it could be, well, why don't you fucking do it? That could be the literal answer. And the next steps won't be revealed until you take action. That's how it is sometimes. Not all that. Sometimes we get a pre-warning, but sometimes if you're just stalling for so long, spirit will kind of force you to make that action, whether it's a move or anything. It could be like a job change or anything, even something small. It's just important that we give ourselves a chance to take some kind of action, because as we know, inaction just leads to excess mental energy, and excess mental energy is nothing but just free-flowing anxiety. And then we're letting this free-flowing anxiety take control over our lives. And then we wonder why we're stuck in circles. Well, because what are we doing with all these thoughts and ideas? Or we're just sitting on them, just studying it like a scientist? Like, what the fuck is studying our thoughts like a scientist or overanalyzing it really has benefit us in a positive way? That's how I think of things sometimes. Actually, all the time.
I think that's good. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think that'll help a lot of people, because like you say, like our brain, our mind will always want us to rationalize things and think of reason, or it just comes up with reasons why, like what could go wrong, right? And what about what could go right? Like what good could have come of it, right? Like you said, this has changed so many aspects of your life. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. When this episode comes out, I might be somewhere else.
Are you serious?
But I'm still like, I'm ready almost to go, but I'm still going, I don't know. But I feel it in my bones. Like I know. And so let's talk about Buddha again. I was the other day doing my night meditation, and I was expecting the cat to go in his usual spot. And I connected with like all that energy. And I said, if I am supposed to do this, let Buddha go to my right side right here, a spot where he never goes. And then I waited for a while, and he didn't go anywhere. He just stayed where he was. And then when I decided, like, okay, I guess it's no, I guess, or I'm not connecting for some reason right now to the question. And then all of a sudden, when I came out of my meditation, he comes over and it goes right to my right side.
Oh my gosh. That's so fucking cool.
Kissing up to the universe. I got it. I got your sign.
Yes. Lucia. Yes. I'm so fucking excited for this new chapter. And you know what else? I love how you did, you communicated with spirit as a way to give me a sign. That's a great way of having a back and forth dialogue with spirit, because like when we ask them for signs, of course they want to help us. And so I love that you did that, because that's a great exercise to do for anyone listening, just in general, like do it like right like this or whatever. So it's like right soon as your ass thought it was like, okay, I didn't do it. Boom. That's how it always is. Man, I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I'll give the deets after it's done.
Okay, good. I love moving in silence. That's right, girl. That's right. You move in silence. You don't tell no one your plans. That's how I always am. I don't tell no plans until after it's done.
Exactly. Yeah, our grandma taught us that too.
Oh, really? Damn, wise woman. Wise.
Yeah. Well, my grandma was kind of like you. She was very psychic, but I think it was a little bit a bit weirder, because she connected with this like indigenous energy that sometimes would take over her body.
Oh, like a trance.
Yeah, I guess so. But it would just like, you would be there and she'd like, let me cleanse your house for a second. And she'd be like, and all of a sudden this Indian would come out of her and you'd be like,
oh man, that's some powerful shit.
Yeah, this is a big Italian woman who's all of a sudden moving like an Indian tribe member. You're like, what? She never moves like this.
Holy, I love that. She's amazing.
Yeah, her gift was amazing. It is amazing. I mean, she doesn't use it anymore because she's very old, but yeah, it was amazing.
Love it, man. Love it. And that's why both of you ladies, it's like embedded in y'all's DNA. That's why you guys wouldn't be here as we're interested in the things you are, or being intuitive, and both of you are very psychic. So it definitely, I've always felt it runs through generations. What I've learned, and it seems like sometimes you can be like the one family member, but usually it's passed down somewhere. I've learned somewhere in the DNA, in the bloodline.
Yeah, I've heard that too. So we actually wanted to ask you, because I remember you on your podcast, you talked about your alien encounter, and I remember it was a mantis being, and I don't know if there was another one, but I kind of thought it would be cool if our listeners heard your alien story and your encounter and all that.
All right. Well, let's get fucking cozy, guys, because this is a whirlwind.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So, okay, I have everything. This is probably one of my most vivid memories that stick out because like I said on my podcast, this actual encounter was a real life encounter, not a dream. I only had one real life encounter, which is the one I'm going to talk about, like Lucia was saying about the mantis being. But the rest of my encounters have been through the dream state. But this is the only one that has been in my face, like actually awake in the morning time. Okay. So, all right, let's get cozy, get our popcorn out, get your water ready. I can talk forever, but I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to make this too long though, but I will,
get into the details of it,
let's
right?
get going. Right. I'll still be the detail. Like, I'm not going to be like just short on this thing. All right. So it started. All right. I'm just joking, but I was being one of those like storytellers, like, so it's April 24th, 2015. But it seriously was April 24th, 2015. All right. So, okay, let me be serious, guys. All right. So it actually was April 24th. It was in 2015. And what happened was, it was around, I woke up at 6:30 a.m. And this was in Maryland, by the way. Don't know if the physical location matters, but might as well just give all the details. So it was April 24th, 2015. I was living in Maryland outside of Washington, D.C. That's where I was born and raised outside of DC. And so I lived in Maryland at that time before moving to California. So anyway, lived in Maryland. It was 6:30 a.m. I remember getting up and I was laying in bed and I decided to look at some clothes because my husband's birthday is May 17th. And so I said, okay, we have a trip coming, so let me order some clothes. Yes, who the fuck wakes up and Google's clothes as soon as they get up? Obviously someone with a lot of time on their hands. So it is what it is. So anyway, I am Googling, looking at these clothes, and then around maybe not too far after, I get a text from my sister. So this is me being conscious awake. There's no way I woke up for the day, so I'm awake. So I get the text from my sister, and I remember being like, bitch, I'll get back to you later, because, I'm in the middle of adding shit into my shopping cart. So this is where things start to get weird. All of a sudden, as I put my phone down for 1 second, and I remember feeling like I should go to the bathroom or something. But before I could even do that, all of a sudden, everything starts blinking red. Okay. So imagine and it's daylight. The sun is out. Okay.
Oh my gosh. That sounds scary.
Thank you. Okay. Exactly. So this is where it gets scary for me too. So there's blinking.
The red blinking was in like outside window or in your room?
Yes, exactly. It was outside. So it was blinking outside my window. So I'm thinking, who the fuck goes to aliens? Like their first thought, like who the fuck does that? I definitely was not into any of that stuff.
You think like there's a car backing up?
Right.
Somehow.
This is okay, you guys are going to laugh at what I thought it was. See, Lucia, that was a logical answer, but my brain, this is where it gets funny. I'm thinking it's the fire department. That's how bright the red lights were. Okay. Like, how the fire department, like if someone has like a fire and it's like, you can see that like it's bright ass red lights.
It's very bright. Yeah, that's true. So it must have been really bright then.
That's how bright it was. And so I'm thinking it's a fire department outside my house. And I'm like, wait a minute. I just woke up for the day. I don't smell anything. Maybe it's someone next door, like maybe there's a fire, because I lived in an actual single family home. I wasn't in an apartment. So I knew it wasn't like some apartment building, but I just thought maybe some house across the street. I didn't pay too much mind to it, but this is where I started getting weird. About 2 minutes go into the blinking lights and it's daylight, but I see the red flashing lights and through my window and throughout the house. And so I'm just laying there in my bed, like, okay. And then I start to get this weird feeling. Now I'm starting to get scared. I said, oh my God, someone's in my house. I don't know how, but I can feel it. So I'm on the second floor and I felt like, cause obviously the door to get in is on the first floor. I just felt like someone was coming up the stairs and I couldn't hear the footsteps, but this is just psychic shit, I guess, at this point. And I could feel it. And the only thought that I had, which is just really funny, which was, oh no, I have no pants or underwear on. This is it. So they're going to come in. I don't have my fucking pants or underwear. They're going to fucking rape me or something weird. This is it. I'm going to be traumatized for life. I literally was thinking those thoughts. Like I know my brain was dark to go there, but it did. So I just remember feeling pissed that I didn't have pants on. I know that's kind of humorous, but that's all I kept thinking about. I was like, damn. And this is where I started to get paralyzed. So as soon as I thought of jumping out of my bed to get pants on, because I thought it was like the fire department dude, like warning me of something. And so that's when I realized I couldn't move. As soon as I wanted to move, I was stuck to the bed. And I said, okay, this is really it for me. And I remember thinking, guys, I said, is this some kind of like psychotic break? That's when I started to question my sanity. I was like, this is it. Not only am I don't have pants, then I started questioning my sanity. I said, I'm also losing it because I'm now stuck to this bed. I'm glued to it. And then I'm like, is this some like possession? I'm either having a psychotic break. Those movies like in Hollywood say you're possessed or something. I was like, it's one of these things, not sure what the fuck's going on. And so while I'm laying there, guys, paralyzed, mind you, as soon as I try to get up, I'm paralyzed. This is where it gets creepy, literally scary movie shit. The door slowly opens and I'm just laying there.
Sounds like a bad movie.
Thank you. It is. It felt like it. And so the door just eerily opens and I'm trying to yell, but again, I'm paralyzed. So at first I thought it was just my body. This was before I knew anything about paralyzation of the body. So it was one of my first times. And so I try to yell and then nothing, would come out of my mouth because you're paralyzed. That's when I was like, oh my God, I can't breathe. I can't like speak. And then as soon as the quote unquote thing walks into my room. So this is how it was dressed up. It was in like a suit, like not a business suit. Like, oh, I'm a mantis being doing business here on Earth. Let me get my business suit on. Like not like in a business suit. I meant like a white, you know how our astronauts have those whites, like, the white astronaut NASA suits, like those things, like, astronaut.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like that.
Was it like bulky or fitted to the body?
It was bulky. Like it didn't, but it was like an astronaut, but not. And it was like, it had a silverly, like a, what's it called? Like a chrome holographic, like, when you have like a chrome color or holographic, like color on, it kind of shines with the light. Like when it hits it, it had that kind of like color to it. It was shiny when it was weird. I've never seen this material ever. And so I'm thinking, okay. And again, my brain was still just like frozen. And this is where everything started to get even more weirder. So once I can't breathe, I see this thing in a suit. This is where things started to add up. As soon as I saw the left arm, I'm like, wait, that's not a human arm. Even though it kind of had like a long sleeve on, like what a human would look like, it didn't have a human hand. And so I'm like, okay, things are really getting weird here. And then that's when I started to question, like, am I asleep? I wanted to smack myself. I'm like, is this real? What's going on? I don't know what's real. I don't know. And then as soon as I saw the hand, I got really scared, or like the arm, because it looked like a fucking green thingy, just like a, just green and weird, just disfigured. So then I thought, oh, is this some like guy who's disfigured gonna like kill me in my house, like a serial killer? Like, again, my brain wasn't thinking alien. You remember, I wasn't like, you know what I mean? My brain wasn't thinking alien. So I'm thinking like, is this some disfigured serial killer who goes after women because he's disfigured or something, wants psycho shit. And so after I said that, I literally felt this calmness come over me, guys, like a telepathic, like thought. Like I just had this random thought saying like, everything's fine. And I'm like, how's this coming from me if I was just freaking out? And all of a sudden I felt like it wasn't through words, but I could feel its thoughts. It was really, guys, I swear this sounds crazy, but it was all through telepathy, where I got the thought of like, calm your shit down. Everything's fine. And oh, guys, this is one other detail, which was, when the door was opening and, as the being was standing there, the being was very tall. I would say like, I don't know how it could fit. Like, I think the regular doorway is like 6 feet, maybe 5 feet, five and a half
something
feet.
like that. I think like probably 6 feet.
Yeah. So, but when I don't know how it got in because it felt more taller than the doorway, but I'm like, okay, whatever, at this point, I'm like, I can't use my logic anymore. So, but here's where it gets even more interesting. After it calmed me down, I was looking at it, and all of a sudden it had this square/rectangular device in its hands. And it was like silver. I said silverly, but silverish, if that's even a word. It was like silver. It was a silver color. Yeah, it was silver, basically.
Like a remote control or something?
No, it wasn't that skinny. I would say it was like boxy. It was a big, it was a boxier kind of thing. It was like a big, like, it was like, what can I,
Like, would you compare it to like an iPad or a phone or like
okay. You know what I'll compare it to? You know, like our iPhone, you know, the box that our iPhones are when we get a new iPhone, that little iPhone square box. Okay. That size, but all gray, silver, but it wasn't even gray. It felt silver. It was like a shiny silver. And so it was holding this device. And as soon as I looked at it, this is where everything this is it. This is the end of the story, basically. After it told me to calm down, and then that's when I saw the device. Then I don't remember anything after it. As soon as I saw the square thing, that was it. And what I came to my conclusion was this. That's the Men in Black shit. You know, Men in Black, where they had the little pen thingy that you just like zoom and then you get your memories erased. That's the best way I can describe. I mean, obviously it wasn't like that small, like Men in Black, literally, but I'm just thinking, what are the odds that I have no memory after that? I literally, as soon as I looked at the square thing, it was like an awkward maybe 5 seconds of like silence. And then I don't remember anything. And then the next thing I know, when I looked at my phone, it's like 8 something. And so I'm like, okay.
That is a lot of time. You said it was like 6:30 or something?
Yeah. You need to do a hypnosis session to see if you can access that memory.
Yeah. It was like, I don't remember like how much time went by. Like, I swear to God, it was something like along those lines. And I'm just thinking here, like, okay, you know what I mean? And it was weird. Hold on. I'm trying to think, was it like no, I don't think it was like literally like 2 hours. I'm jumping the gun here. I think it was like, you know what it felt like to me? It felt like a few minutes, the feeling. Yeah. But I think when I look back at my phone with my sister's messages, it felt, it was way longer than how it felt. So it was like a disconnect. Like it felt like 3 minutes, but it turns out it was like a little bit longer than that. I might've got the timing wrong. It doesn't feel like 2 hours went by. It might've been like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour. I have to recheck my notes, but I'm just going off my own memory bank right now. But I do remember the time fucking didn't make sense, guys. It did not. And I have this, and you guys are going to laugh at me. I thought about hypnosis, but now I have a fear of it, man. It's like, I don't want to unleash my control over my brain. Right. But at the same time, I understand. I don't know if this phobia is from, because it's like, I want to know, but then it's like, I already know, but then I don't want to know the details in case it's like, you know what I mean? Like
probing scary or weird.
Right. And it's like, I've had, and that was my only in person that I can actually, like when I was wide awake in the middle, in the morning kind of thing. Every other experience I've ever had or any kind of thing has been through the dream state. That was the only real one. I've had dreams of myself on other planets. I've had dreams of octopus aliens. I've had dreams of lobster ones. What's up with this? What's up with the fucking half sea creature in Iceland? It's like, I don't know what's up with. Yeah. And it's like, I've had dreams of an alien that was like made of plasma. I've had dreams of ships. I've had dreams of big motherships. I've had dreams of being paralyzed and on mountains with a mothership over me. So it's like, those are the dream parts. So I'm like, okay, I'm putting two together here, right? Something is obviously going on with my ass, And I remember when I was really younger, guys, I would have this fear of, being pregnant or having a kid, even at age 6. And I wouldn't understand where it came from, but I would have dreams when I was younger about like medical stuff, and then it's like, I was thinking now as an adult, like, I wonder if it was some kind of like, certain gray species can take your eggs and things, even at a young age. It's crazy. And so I used to have these weird phobias as a child about like being taken, or someone gonna come get me. I would have these weird phobias, especially with, like I said, with pregnancy specifically. I would really be scared as a child, which is weird, to have that phobia. I'm like, Mom, can you get pregnant without having sex? She's like, why are you asking this? You're like 76 years old, Aww. Yeah, and it's just, it was a very weird existence for me. But now as an adult, I'm just kind of, with all of my wild dreams I've had dreams of being, like I said, on different planets. I even had a dream on a space station before, or like I said, in ships. And I've seen the skies. I've been up in the sky in a ship before in dreams. So while that was my only technical in person, but I really intuitively feel like my dreams are also telling another parts of the story of what's happening, maybe on some other kind of astral level, maybe, or something like that. And so I'm just some bitch here just trying to put the pieces together. And technically, Lucia, you're right. I know hypnosis would probably do it for me, but there's a part of me that's still holding back. And it's just like, maybe a part of me doesn't want to know for whatever traumatic reason. But And, so now I'm just kind of accepted my alien kind of experiences in my life. I can officially say that I am a contactee, and even one of my spirit guides, Zalo, is an interdimensional being. So it's kind of funny that, but I didn't put two and two together. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. One of my spirit guides is like some random blob from a constellation. I say blob because he doesn't have like a figure. He's just a blob of energy. That's how I see him. But although they've been surrounding me my whole life, I don't know, I feel like if you were to ask me, like, do I know all the alien species? Shit, if I know, I'm like, I don't, what's weird for me is like, these things happen to me, but I've never looked into like, all right, guys, let me study all the alien races. Like, I can't name all the alien races. I'm just some lady who experiences it, but I just know some of them, and like the blue ones, I've seen blue looking ones just in my dreams. But again, dreams are gateways, right? So yeah, it's just been, it's like a part of me feels nuts while talking about this. It took me so many years to even talk about, like Lucia, like you said, when you heard it on my podcast, it took me so long just to even talk about my experiences, whether from that experience through the dream state, experience, both of them, because I've always felt weird. I've always felt like when I try to talk about it, I would get this strong feeling to not talk about it. And usually I'm very outspoken. And so, but when it comes to this, I get very weird. And I think it's because it's something that I'm still trying to process and understand. But it's also like, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who maybe even been listening now, who maybe have one of these weird dreams, or even maybe an in-person experience like I've had. And it does make you feel crazy. It does make you second guess things. And so I've been trying to look into, like, I know it's going to sound funny, but like UFO alien support groups, because it's like getting weird for me. So I'm like,
that's really cool.
Are
they available? Is it like a thing?
It is a thing, guys. It actually is. I've been looking into it. They got some, I'm not far from New Mexico where I live in Arizona. I'm actually in Eastern Arizona, so I'm not too far from New Mexico, actually. I was actually thinking of doing a road trip to Roswell just for the fun of it. Let's see what happens to my energy out there. I thought about documenting, like, oh, is my energy going to zap the fuck out?
Well, did you know that they didn't land in Roswell? They land in Corona.
Really?
Yes, but the stuff was shipped to Roswell because the base was there.
Interesting. Should I have another place to visit?
Corona.
Oh, I just got it. Holy shit. Oh my. You know what?
Hey, girls, let me say it again if you didn't catch it the fourth or fifth time. I think apparently the town is called Corona.
What are the odds? That is fucking
I found out from Cosmic Disclosure on Gaia. Like, I love that show. And so there's this one guy called Richard Doty, I think his name is. And he worked on those bases, and he worked that case. And it's so fascinating to hear. And they found two species in that crash, and Eben 1 and 2. And one of them died, and the other Eben went to the base, and they actually communicated with Eben. And they tried to get him to explain, or her, I don't know. I think they didn't have her, like a he or she, but they tried to get it to explain like how to reverse engineer everything so they could use it to their favor. And the being ended up dying. Like, I don't know if it was depleted because it didn't eat the way we do, and all these other complicated things, right?
Holy
yeah. Well, okay, so I'm going to ask you something. All right, this is what I feel. Okay. Is it possible that you have some sort of a device that helps you communicate better with Zalo? How do you pronounce his name?
Yeah, Zalo. Yeah.
Is it possible you have some sort of a device that you communicate with Zalo, and it needed to be checked on by one of his guys? Like, his scientific or technical team.
No, you're onto something, because I never said this to anyone. On my right arm, there is a fucking huge like lump, and no doctor, no nothing said, I don't know what it is, but there is something weird in my right arm, and it hurts to the touch. Not even like I can't get massaged there, nothing. And so my husband always says, you have an implant. I really believe it. And it's funny.
I swear to God, that's what I'm feeling.
That's so funny you said that, because I thought this, my husband always said it. And I do have this, my right arm, I'm touching it now. This is like a fucking, like, there's something in it. It feels kind of hard, and it hurts to the touch. Like, I can't put too much pressure on it my whole life. This lump only formed when I was in late elementary school. So again, kind of goes with, remember when I was saying earlier about like me feeling weird as a child and having weird dreams and things. And, And what are the odds around that time? Now thinking about it, I wasn't born with this thing on my arm. That's what's funny. I was fine in my first years of life. It wasn't until like sixth grade is going into middle school. So around that time. So I actually intuitively feel like you're right. I do believe there is something that they do visit me for. And I will also have to say the changes that I've noticed after that 2015.
I was going to ask you, because it feels like, I'm saying look like, because it's like I'm kind of seeing it a little bit. It looks like, and it feels like they did an upgrade with the system that they're functioning to help communicate with you, but other individuals around the world that they're also utilizing for a form of communication to help humanity in some sort of a way. That's their way, right?
Yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying. I completely agree, because it has to, because what I've noticed after that experience and was that my psychic abilities increased. So that's actually so it's kind of funny you said that. Literally, you're on it, because that's exactly this. You're good. You're good.
What's your next problem? Always. Come on, V, give me your next problem. What is it?
I love that. Exactly. So you're right. You're fucking spot on, girl. Because that's exactly what happened. As soon as after this happened, I started having more out of body experiences, not with aliens, just random stuff, just leaving my body and traveling out of my roof, like things like that. No alien stuff. But I would, I'd have more out of body experiences. My psychic abilities increase. Oh, and you know what? You want an interesting random symptom of what happened after that contact experience was I started getting new allergies that I never had ever in my life. So that's also, I don't know if that's just that experience, but I started to be more sensitive to metals. Like I use all kinds of jewelry. So, I'm like, oh no, I can't use certain jewelries anymore, it
metals,
was the metals.
wow.
And then it was right after that, it was I went to the doctor. He's like, now you have contact dermatitis. So it's like sensitive with chemicals in certain laundry detergents. It was really a lot of chemicals, whether it's in the metals, laundry detergent. The littlest things now can set off my allergic reactions. But I never used to be one of those allergic people. I remember when I was younger, like, every time I see one of those people, I'm like, y'all just too extra. But now I am that extra bitch. And now I'm like, wow, it only happened. It started to occur for me after that experience. And now to this day, I still have those allergies. It literally just popped up this week, actually, ironically. Now thinking about it, I've been having bad allergic reactions and shit.
But that could be probably one of two things. Either there is a new device and your body's reacting to it, and what you aren't able to deal with harms it. It's like a protection.
I didn't think about that. Right? That makes sense. Yeah, that actually just makes sense.
But then also, I feel like they come with radiation. Like they have their own radiation that our bodies can't handle very well. So I think that in the short term, maybe you could have, I felt like you wanted to vomit after, maybe obviously like the fear, but I feel like you might have felt like you were vomit or nauseous, or you didn't feel very in line with your body for the first few days. I think that thing that they wear is to help the radiation so they don't hurt us.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't even think about that. See, that's why I'm glad I'm talking about it with someone else other than myself, because that makes so much sense. I never thought about that, because you're right. It is reported that they always have the radiation. It always is known when they come to this planet. Many people get radiation burns if you're near a UFO thing. It is a real thing. You're right.
They get burns? I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Wow. Some people, I've read that if you're around...
Like without touching it, you mean?
Without touching, yeah. Certain people can, when the energy just radiating. Yeah, I've seen it from different UFO ships. I was reading this book about UFO ships and how there were certain cases where it would fly overhead and certain people would get burned, or the grass areas would get kind of like burned, or it looks like someone landed there. Yeah, it's a lot of that radiation shit's no joke, like even off the ship and off their bodies. So damn, I never put two and two together with my own reactions to that, because it's an otherworldly thing,
It's hard. Like you're probably just looking at it from a place of like the fear that, you felt it happened when you had no pants on. There's a sense of violation. Exactly. Like, he obviously saw you in your tidy whities and then erased your memory.
Right. Like that's all I had. The only thing they left me with a memory was like for some reason, like, bitch, we'll at least let you remember that you had this experience so you don't think you're crazy, but we're not going to let you remember everything else. But they remembered me freaking out about me not having no pants and shit on. So that's the only thing I got in with their little device. It's like a square silver device, rectangle/square. So I'll never forget it. And that's the last thing. And then after that, my memory was zapped. And I've had many of dreams where I would look at a ship and then I would just get paralyzed. I can actually get paralyzed in some of my dreams when I see UFO ships in my dreams. So there's a correlation between paralyzation, I've noticed, and
I was going to ask you about that. Do you think the paralyzation is for them? They must put it upon the person so that the person doesn't like react because they know they're going to come from a place of fear. Do you think that's why that happened to you?
I really think so. I really can't think of, because imagine us trying to fight and use all of our mental energy in fighting. I think since they obviously have the energy technology to just kind of like, ooh, let's shut this human down, like pressing a button and just shut our asses down somehow. So I do, Lucia, I absolutely agree with that. It has to be so we don't freak out too much.
And also like that mind control, like it's just
literally
like controlling the situation. Maybe that's also where like psychologically for you, the whole hypnosis thing is a little bit freaky. It's you somehow having to give up your control in some way. And that's scary.
Right.
Like, it's all gone.
Yeah. So it's like, I've been struggling with the idea, and it's like, I also get a psychic impressions from my own spirit guides. Like, bitch, you already know the truth. But I'm like, yeah, but sometimes I want to know the details. And it's like, it's not like my spirit guides or my spirit people are against it. They're just like, hey, it's up to you. I have to personally, on a personal, emotional level, have to get to that point if I ever want to. Yes, psychically, I do feel like shit does happen to me all the time, especially these dreams. They feel like memories. I remember almost all of my dreams and they don't feel like dreams, but I don't have any proof for the dreams, but I mean, I don't know if it's really real, but it feels like it, and seeing different planets and being taken away in ships and seeing the moon and seeing like Mars. I've seen so much shit, at least in
that makes so much sense. Like your art, when I look at your social media account and just the art is like so beautiful because you create your own art, but that makes sense if this is kind of like the world that you're living in at moments, right? It really coincides with that vision, that artwork.
Right. I try to recreate some of them. Yeah. Sometimes like half my artworks is usually just recreations of shit I've seen. And then other times I'm just inspired, literally channeled in the moment. But think about it. Where does all channeling really come from? It comes from some higher consciousness and higher form of ourselves and of the cosmos anyway. So everything, I even believe the imagination is not random. It derives from someplace as well. So man, there's levels to this shit.
Hey, I have a question for you because I keep getting this feeling to ask you, okay, so you recall some part of what happened to you in 2015, but is there a possibility that there was some kind of experience like this before then that you really don't remember at all?
I 100 billion% feel that way, like and always felt that way.
Yeah.
I've always felt that my whole life. There was a lot of things in my childhood that just, even at night, didn't add up. And again, I never have proof, but yeah, Lorena, you're absolutely right. I've always felt like this was for some reason, maybe something switched in 2015 where you're like, you know what, this bitch needs to start remembering, because I'm thinking of my life at that point in a personal sense that it all makes sense now in the bigger picture, that in 2015, after that happened, I really started focusing on the path of psychic stuff and like really opening. I mean, in 2011, 2012, I was already reading metaphysical books, but I was randomly drawn to it. Everyone in my family is like Catholics and normal, quote, normies. So it's like, no one's like thinking of like metaphysics and other books, in my household or in general. But I was always weird. I was always the different one in my whole family, but I've always, I was drawn to the metaphysical stuff around 2011. But 2015, but I wasn't going to do anything with it. I never even wanted to be a psychic. I never even had the idea. I mean, wow. I knew I had the gift, but I was like, nah, I have other shit I want to do with my life. That's just something I always thought, oh, I'm just good at picking up or knowing stuff. And I just would laugh at it. But I had no intention on doing it for a profession at any of those years. So 2015 comes, still had no intention to be a psychic as a profession, right? But I'm telling you, after that experience, I just felt more called. Like I said, my gifts got stronger and I just felt more called to go down this path. And now I'm thinking, if they didn't kind of shock my ass, I wonder if I would would I even be on this path right now? Would I even put myself out there? Would I even, not like giving all the aliens credit? Sorry, fuck no. I'm also giving myself credit. Sorry, y'all,
of course.
maybe alien people. Like, I believe God uses anyone, whether it's an alien, a spirit, an angel, you guys, humans, Lorena, you, Lucia, everyone, I believe, is a tool to help us on our path. Any experience, any conversation, I do believe it's all beneficial. And I do think that without that kind of shocking me, that experience, I really believe that really helped me stay on this path. Because I don't think that, because like I said, I never took the psychic shit seriously. I knew I had to get my whole life, but I'm like, I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to do something fun with my life. I'm going to do something like this. I had no intentions on helping. I mean, I wanted to help people, but in a different way. I just didn't see it as a psychic. If someone would have told me at that age, you'd be a psychic, I'm like, please, bitch, please. Yeah, right. I mean, I know I got the gift, but I'm not taking this seriously. And that's how I used to live my life, not taking it seriously. And I think maybe that experience helped me to take, like, man, bitch, you really are out here in outer space doing some weird shit. So maybe you should start taking this stuff seriously. I really believe that really helped me to become more focused on the path, because it forced me to look up more shit. After that happened, I was really Googling, really looking up books and like, okay, I got to look up abductees. And that's when I started to compare, like, and contrast, like, different other people's experiences. And I've noticed that you Google abductee experiences or just contactee experiences, a lot, the main thing is the paralyzation in the beginning. And I'm like, okay, so
that's the most common thing, right? Like, that's what I always heard. And the other thing that Christos had said when we interviewed him was, when you talk about aliens, you're usually going to hear the word time. You remember that? Yeah. And she talked about her time. Like, there's this chunk of time where she's like, time's always a thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like, where the fuck? I'm like, for me, it felt like 5 minutes, but the time, like, and that's like, I actually had a dream a couple weeks ago where I was, there's this big mothership, as always, right? And this is where it gets interesting. Even time in the dream, this is what's weird. It just felt so real. I was with this group of people. We all got some message to meet in this big green field with mountains around us. And we look at this person and we're like, this don't feel right. I feel like we're being set up. I thought I was being scammed in the dream, but it turns out the person's face started to glitch. And I said, wait, you're not even human. And once we all started to think that, it revealed itself as an alien. And then we were trying to run away and escape. And to get to the main point of the story about the time, which was some girl escaped the mountain enclosure we were in. It was a big enclosure, like there was fences, like and like they were studying us, like we were like fucking animals. Like that's what it felt like. Like, you know how you just study like animals in a zoo. It's like a big fence around a big zoo, but instead
it's like the Hunger Games or something in a way.
Seriously, Hunger Games shit, literally. And so. Yeah, I know, wild brain, right? And so this is where it gets interesting. Some girl escapes and she's like, B, you know that 6 days have gone by? I finally escaped. She came back to the enclosure and was like, y'all been here for 6 days. And I said, how? It felt like it's been like a couple hours. And that was just in a dream. It was told to me like that. Isn't that weird? Even in a dream.
Weird. Wow. Well, they're obviously not just quote unquote dreams, right?
That's what I was always thinking. I'm like, I've always believed that. And it's just like, I never felt, comfortable. Like just on my podcast recently, I've been trying to like share my dreams. I write down all my dreams, obviously, and I've been trying to have a little dream series where I'm like, let me just say my dreams to put it out there. Maybe someone else in this world has had a weird dream or similar dream. Cause I've had a dream where someone was trying to take my memories. Isn't that crazy, guys? Yes. Like someone was in the back of my neck. There's this thing in the back of my neck in one of my dreams, and they tried to insert something or take something out. It's literally in the back of my neck. And it was something about memories and me trying to say, you're not going to take my memories and something like that, and arguing with someone about memories. So yeah, let's just say that I could probably create a sci-fi just off my dreams.
Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's an experience. It's something you're experiencing. Like this is part. Yeah. So yeah, I asked you about that. Like if you felt like it was before, because I definitely am feeling that when I'm talking to you. It feels like that was just one of those experiences. And when did you start connecting with Zalo? Like we were talking about 2015, but when in that timeline of your life did that start to become like a thing?
You know what? He really started to come through in, let's see here. 2016, 17. It wasn't that long ago, actually. Now I'm starting to really think, guys. I just live my life like not fucking like reflecting on shit, because now I'm really like adding the timeline. It was just like in 2018.
Not that much after, right?
Yeah, it was not far after. So it was like 2015, the experience happened, and then 2018. And yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, it is kind of funny because he popped up out of nowhere in my life when in 2018, it just felt like I had a new spirit guide on my team or whatever. I just assigned him the role of a spirit guide, but he could be an alien guide. But I know all of our spirit guides can be aliens. They could be animals. They could be whatever, basically, but 2018, he was new. And I was like, okay, it's kind of rare for a spirit guide to enter your thing at this rate. So I was like, okay, I'll accept it. But the messages, the energy was so different from my other guides. It was so different. And that's when he's like, I'm interdimensional. And he was talking about, he's just from a constellation. He's just like a nebula. Like that was the energy. He's like, I'm just like a nebula, like a nebula energy, like the energy of a star or nebula, but it's like from a constellation and showing me image. Cause you guys know I'm clairvoyant. So I see everything through images. And so, but he was very scientific, very technical, very, just helping me out actually in a lot of practical ways. I mean, these last couple of years really improved thanks to him. And also, me listening. I mean, no one can do the work for you, right? So just me being open to listen to his ass. But damn, now thinking about it, what are the odds, guys? He came after a couple of years after that experience.
I don't think it's a coincidence.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah. I also don't think it's a coincidence that you moved where you moved now, because the energy there is especially connected with alien beings.
Right. And I felt such a strong pull to come out here. Like it was so strong that like, I couldn't control it. Like I just have to. And I realized I did a lot of road trips to Arizona anyway. So it's like my energy was already drawn out here, but that's why now that I'm here, it just feels even more like intense. And now that I've been out here, I've been having my phone now short circuits out. Like my electricity's weird with my phone. My phone just randomly stops working now. I've noticed it happened like twice already since I've been out here. So yeah, and it's like weird because my husband has the exact same phone model. We both have AT&T, same thing, same exact phone, and we're right next to each other, and mine just stops working, and I have to call AT&T for hours, and like we don't know what it is, and it's just like, and like literally what happened, he told me, the AT&T guy said, it's like there's a ghost in your phone, and I laughed like, you don't even know my profession, and I'm like, well, that doesn't help me, AT&T, but thanks. But there really is a ghost in my phone, and they don't even know that I'm a psychic medium who deals with like spirits and shit. So I just thought that was ironic. But that's the kind of shit that happens to me now, where it's just like random stuff. And also with my nervous system, guys, my nervous system is just shocked. Like it's I've noticed all my life I've always had nerve issues or nerve problems. So my nervous system is really different, or I don't know what the word would be. It's very sensitive. So that is something that's physical that I've noticed as well throughout my whole life, but especially over these last like 7 to 10 years has been really, my nervous system has really been, and not like in a like, oh my God, because you stressed out, you got anxiety. Is that why your nerves are, struck? But not complete anxiety, but I could just be chilling and just feel weird electrical things. Like it's just interesting. So while I sound fucking insane, saying this shit, that's why I've always felt literally psycho talking about this stuff, because I'm like, this always sounds so weird, so out there, they're gonna lock me up or something, but this is who I am, and I've gotten to a point now as an adult where I'm like, fuck it, it's just like, who am I to hold back? This is my reality, my truth, and ever since sharing, there has been people who come forward, and maybe someone hearing this may have similar, experiences. Because I just know in my soul, I'm not the only one who's had these, obviously we've read so many accounts, like, and they feel just as crazy as I do, and it is a crazy experience because there's no proof technically, you know what I mean? Like there's no real proof unless, like I said, like my husband always says, he's like, you need to get the implant stuff checked out. So that's something I can probably do.
It's so cool that he's so open. Like you can talk to him about that.
I know, right?
Not everyone has that.
Seriously, I'm very, and you know what's funny? He never remembers his dreams. And over this last year, he's been having dreams. And he says sometimes it's of me and him on like a space shuttle or something. And he never. Yeah, he's extremely logical. So he's like, this is new for me, B. And it's like, and he never remembers his dreams. And all of a sudden, this last couple months last year, he's been remembering them. And some of them have been in space with me. So I'm like, damn, dude, I guess I'm taking you with me out here.
Wow. Earth lovers and space lovers. I love it.
Ooh, zesty, spicy as a motherfucker. I love it. We're doing like a soap opera, like a space Earth soap opera. We're space cross lovers. found each other again on Earth. Yes.
I love that.
Oh my God.
Maybe you can write the story.
You know what? Honestly, that's what he always tells me. He's like, you should just, because I write everything down, guys. Everything, every vision. Even if I'm in a psychic reading and I see a vision, I'll write it down. If I'm just, sitting here and if I see something pop up, I'll write it. If in a dream, I'll write it. So basically, you guys, Lorena, you're on it. Because I just have to write something. I've always been gifted with the gift of gab. Obviously, I could talk, but even with writing as well. I love writing. And so I'm thinking it's either going to be some kind of book. I don't know if it's going to be fiction or nonfiction. I guess I could just write it under quote unquote fiction, but I don't know. I thought about, all of these things that I've seen and experienced. I don't know. I think I could write about it, and who knows?
I love it.
Based on a true story.
Literally based on a true story, literally.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh, cool.
I actually have to thank you because the last time I think it was that you were on the podcast, I had asked you at one point if there was some sort of being a race that I could connect with better. And you told me that I was already connecting to an Arcturian energy. And then I went with it. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to actively, apparently I was channeling it already. I was just mixing it with the Akashic records in a way. Right. So I was like, okay, I'm going to actively try to figure out which energy is which, right. And connect with it. And now I literally go and I visit him. Like a meditative state. I go and I visit it and I'll ask him questions. And I'm like, I'm not comfortable talking about our conversation, everything. So like we created a little space, which is like a Patreon where I just share like my communications with him, because I'm not like you, I'm not ready to like tell everyone.
Right. I know exactly how that feels. Oh my gosh. But first of all, how awesome is that you guys have your own little, like the way that you're able to, communicate with him. And I love that you save it for your Patreon, because I love that. I think Patreon's great because it just really sets that really private, intimate space where it's just like, look, if you're really about this life, really about this shit, y'all gonna fucking subscribe to Lucia's and Lorena's motherfucking Patreon and enjoy this good shit. That's how I see it, because that is so awesome. And I'm really glad that you're able to even develop a relationship, because I teach psychic development every day, all the time. And you know what I always tell people?
I studied with you, right?
Oh shit. Yeah, exactly.
Hello.
Right. You did. I'm like, so much like I don't even know what month that was. It felt like it was like 20 years ago.
That was a while ago. It was a while ago, but it was so helpful. And I sent people your way because I definitely feel like it was so good to experience that with you. But I feel like, oh my God, my ears are ringing. Holy crap.
Lorena's experiencing it, Lucia.
What the heck? That was like really loud. I was like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I definitely send people your way because I think you have like a beautiful gift. Like people should definitely like lean on somebody like you that can help them find a way to do it their own way, be authentic to themselves.
Yeah, I totally, exactly. Thank you so much. It's so sweet. And and I was always like I always tell everyone that, like I was telling Lucy about the communication, the more we actually just take the time to communicate with them, like we talk to a friend every day or every other day, the more it builds a connection. If you just talk for one moment and you're like, oh, I didn't get anything, so I'm gonna just leave it and just procrastinate and never talk to them for like another week until they show up for me. You have to actively engage just as you would getting to know someone new. Yeah. I always use this example.
That's literally what he said to me, that we need to create a relationship and begin to understand each other, because he needed to understand me as much as I needed to understand him. And that eventually we could start working together. But for now, it's almost like we're becoming acquainted and I can ask him questions if I want. But he literally puts a limit. Like I will ask one or two questions, like, okay, I think that you have had enough for the energy. I think that let's leave it at that. So he'll literally put boundaries for the meeting.
Yeah, that's some alien spirits. All right. That's how Zalo is with me. He's very short to the point. There's really not much like there's a difference between like the angelic realm where it's like, I feel like it's a slight difference where the angels where it's like not completely but it's like long-winded, more
yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
See, yes. I knew you would, because you just that bitch, both you guys. So I knew y'all would get it. And so, the angels, where it's like more longer channel messages, is all about the emotions with them and making us, transmuting our emotions. I always felt like archangels and angels are great for deep healing and really healing us, uplifting this collective consciousness, healing the bullshit. But when it comes to certain alien species, like Lucy, as you've seen, it's like they're very short to the point. Like, nah, bitch, cut off. Like you had like 5,000 drinks, you cut off.
Yeah,
not like completely cut off. But
and there's also stuff that like he won't say because it might change my timeline, or me telling someone else will change more timelines. So they're like they're looking at so many different things that we don't even think about.
So fucking true. So true. And I loved how you said it, where it's like leaving stuff out so it doesn't impact our timeline. That is so true. It's so true, because if we knew everything, I mean, what was the kind of point of coming here? I sometimes think about it when we're all thirsty to know the future, but I mean, like, and this is coming from a psychic medium, I'm like, yeah, but I mean, like, when we're too thirsty for knowing the future, like, it defeats the purpose of being as humans, to evolve through our current present moment. Everything is built off the present moment. So it's like, I think it's just about like, sometimes it's good to not know. Sometimes it's good to just experience something and see how this timeline will unfold. But the beautiful thing is, thanks to free will, we can pretty much change a lot of shit in our timeline.
Amen. Thank you.
Right.
That's so important. I think we forget sometimes that we have free will, and all of a sudden it's destiny, or this is what's supposed to happen. It's like, well, your free will plays a huge part in what's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I always try to remind people of that in sessions. Like, you can change this, right? Like, yeah, I may see you and your boo breaking up, or it looks like shit ain't going too well, but technically it's up to you. It depends on and what I think when it comes to two people in a relationship, sorry, this is so off topic, but not really. It's kind of random, but hey, maybe someone listening might benefit. But when it's two people in a relationship, right? And it's like, let's say the question was, how can, where do you see this relationship going, V? Or where do you see this relationship going, Spirit? And now if you know what you're doing and you're saying, well, I'm doing everything to make sure this relationship works. I've been being patient. I've been working on self-love. Like, let's say the person asking the questions, but doing all these things, but they're like, but why is my relationship still shitty with this guy or this person? And so usually that is because the other person's energy and effort is not on the same wavelength as yours. And when that energy is kind of not as compatible or resonating on the same wavelength, it won't manifest into what you think you're doing for you and your personal timeline and your personal journey you're doing. But two people need to equally have to be in it, or have an equal intention for the relationship to manifest on a better level, right? If both people say, you know what, and let's say the other partner is like, yeah, I do want this to work. I really love you. And you know what? I am sorry. I really blah, 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 blah. And so if that strong enough intention, not only just saying it, because people say shit all the time. Oh, I want this. I want that. That sounds good.
But the action doesn't.
There's nothing. If there's a misalignment, then it ain't that shocking that the relationship is the way it is. No kind of magical wand in the sky is going to fix something that someone doesn't want to fix themselves. No matter who you go to as an intuitive, or just asking this, not just about going to a reader, but just a person just asking this question to themselves, like, why is my relationship improving when I've been doing all the right things? And sometimes it could be, it could be a few things, like your partner may not be as committed to the changes as you are, or it could be usually the biggest sign that maybe it's time to let go. Could just be, a lot of people don't want to always, that's the hardest option to face. It's the hardest option to face as all of us. And I get it. If we want to try to fix it before we have to force to let go of someone. And that's totally understandable. But the beautiful thing about free will is, hey, you never know if, anything can change. And I just think it's so freeing. And like you said, sometimes when we're wrapped up in our emotions and we're wrapped up in the daily grind and we're just feeling like nothing ever changes, it's hard to feel that free will. It's hard to feel like, oh yeah, I can change this. But then of course it requires some kind of effort and some kind of, accountability and, things that are actions. Most importantly, one small step. No one is asking you to like travel up to, the highest of mountains and meditate and do all this extra shit. We're just asking you to do something practical, something small and practical. I usually find that small, practical actions lead to major changes in our lives, but they're small, practical actions, not large ones like, all right, I'm just going to I want to lose weight. So I'm going to throw out everything in my house, even though you have no money to refill your refrigerator up. Like, that's not that practical, but it's, but we love your intention, but reel it in, reel it the fuck in,
we have to be realistic, right? Realistic with where we're at and where we want to go.
Right. Exactly.
That's the reality. Yeah. And I think that goes back to what you were saying at the way beginning when we started talking. It's talking about relationships, right? It's sometimes we imagine the worst case scenarios instead of like what could come of this relationship that's not working anymore. Like me letting go of this and purging this could leave more room for something better. So, we're always going to go to that worst case scenario many times.
I've actually had this conversation with someone, and I said, I actually like after I go through like a grieving process, when I end something with like, for example, a relationship or a friendship, I usually get excited. I'm a little weird, but I get excited because I'm like, oh, I wonder what amazing, even more of an improvement am I going to bump into now? Because I know that I've progressed and maybe that person hasn't progressed towards where I'm going. And I'm about to bring in that person that does level out with me, right? That can meet up with me in that same level. And I always know that. So I get excited. I'm like, ooh, well, this person, they can't get to where I am. So let me move on. And awesome. This person that can level out with me is coming in. And that just makes me super excited. I'm like, ooh, I wonder what it's going to be like.
Oh, see, that is, love that, Lucy. I love that because that's such a good mentality, like an attitude to have, because when we let go, we always, again, like Lorena was saying, our brains are like focused on what we're losing, which is a negative side. But why can't we channel that energy and say, instead of focusing on what we're losing, let's focus on all the fun possibilities, what we're going to be gaining, like what by letting this go or letting this situation or person go. There's so many beautiful options, and like you said, and just recognizing how much growth you did to even take that leap of faith. And I think we're not taking the time to celebrate our small positive actions. Even when it comes to letting go, we're not being excited for ourselves. We're like, oh, I had to let go. I mean, of course we're going to feel sad. That's normal, but we need to give ourselves that space to be like, you know what, but I'm proud of myself for doing this because 10 years ago, I would never be in this position to do it. So it's like having that reflective moment to say, I did something I know my past self couldn't do. And I want to take this time to celebrate it. And then also look forward to something new. Even if, sometimes the fear of loneliness, the fear of rejection, those are huge things that prevents us from moving on when we're trying to let go of someone or something. We kind of get bogged down by fear of rejection, fear of loneliness. But it's as long as we're not able to feed into those fears too much or let them rule our decision making, we're good. We're both good out here.
But also realizing that the most important relationship we'll ever have in this incarnation is the one with ourselves, right?
Yes.
And that's something I'm like integrating more and more as the years go by. It's like, if you're just going to keep attracting really bad things if the relationship with yourself isn't good. And that's outside of relationships. It could be just general life things, right?
So fucking true. You're so wise. Oh, both of you guys are so damn wise. I'm so
I wish I took all my own advice though.
Oh my gosh. I just said that to I was so pissed off the other day. I was taking a hike with my husband and I was like, he said something and I was such a smart ass back. And I said, oh, it was some like kind of, like advice that I would say. And I said something like, oh, I didn't know that. I said it like, just like that. And I remember like, I said, and he's like, you should take your own advice. And I'm like, well, you think that's why I give it. So I don't have to take it. Like I said something funny like that. But yeah, Lorena, I understand completely. It's like, you can be the best channel in the world. Like, I know you're a great channel and Lucy's a great channel and I'm a good channel, but it's like, sometimes like, I feel like it's easier for me to channel great shit for everyone else. But when it comes to me, I'm just like, boop, 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 boop. What am I doing? Like, and I know intuitively, like I'm doing something wrong, but I'm just like so stubborn in the way sometimes. And, so I get why everyone needs someone to fucking go to. Let's just say that. So it's like, as much as I can say I'm a good channel, I do obviously have good wisdom. Do spirit come to me when I'm like upset? Of course I can hear their messages, but when I'm mad, I'm like, all right, I hear you, but let me be mad. I don't want to see the wisdom right now. Let me be angry.
We feel the emotions. Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I was going to ask you, do you get what like Lorena and I get where like when we're channeling the Akashic Records for someone else and they're asking a question that actually is very related to what we are personally getting, we'll get them talking to them, but they're also letting us know that they're talking to us as well.
Yes.
Do you get that?
Yes,
Yeah.
that happens to me all the time. I be like, when I do a reading for someone, I'm like, and they're like, yo, I really resonate with that. I be getting on the phone like, yo, and sometimes I say it on the phone, like, yo, I'm taking that advice too. That shit was good for me. Let me write this down. Like a lot of times I love when that happens, because you know what? That's how you know that we're all fucking interconnected, because what was the message for you think was for someone else? But then when you're channeling, like, yo, there's some good information. Like I need to hear this
They'll
too.
literally point their finger at me. They're like, that's for you.
I'll see that too. Oh, they'll make me feel goosebumps and get me like, listen to what you're saying, because this goes for you too.
Yes, it happens to me too. So good. Okay, so you guys aren't the only ones, and I'm not the only one. So I'm sure every other intuitive, psychic, empath, whoever you want to call yourselves out there, you ever gave someone advice, and while you're giving advice, after you gave them advice, if you ever felt like, damn, that was some good shit. First of all, that's a good sign that you channeled. Usually I tell this to people all the time. If you're just someone who gives someone good advice, and then after you give the advice, like, yo, that doesn't even sound like me. That was some wise shit. That's a sign that you channeled. But if you could actually say, yo, that was some wise shit, and I need to hear that, that's a, man, love it. That's what I call a 2-for-1 special, man. 2-for-1 special.
Yes.
Love it.
I love that.
I think it's also like, if you're really busy with readings, like with Lorena, we've been really busy with podcast recordings, and we're batching recording some stuff and the interviews, and we have readings. And so I haven't stopped to do my own things. Like, even though I have some questions about myself and my life, I haven't stopped to ask for myself. So it's like they can jump in and be like, yo, by the way, the issue you're having, here's your answer, man. Like, it's almost like they take advantage that you're connected at that point as well.
That makes so much sense. You're right. Because when you're so busy, it's true. When you're using all your consciousness and it's getting drained, I'm not saying like what you're doing is draining, but it's still using your life force energy a lot when you're channeling, doing all the spiritual stuff. And so that makes so much sense, where it's like, I'm going to take shit. This bitch is listening, tuning in. Let's throw all the messages out I want. You're absolutely right. I love when that happens, and I think that it just is beautiful how spirit uses all methods and forms to reach us. I think it is such an honor to, I never take it for granted. And I know you guys don't either, about being like having the ability to channel. And it is very, as wild as it may seem sometimes when you get these random ass messages and you're like, look, I don't know how it's going to sound, but I'm going to say it, y'all, That's what I always tell people. I'm like, look, this may sound weird, but here we go. And coming from my weird alien ass, I think anything at this point, nothing's off the fucking limits. Nothing's off the table. But I just think it's beautiful to be able to, and it's a blessing to be able to connect. And I think that everyone on this planet can connect. We just feel like a lot of us have just been either discouraged, or we just think it's too out there, but
we've been programmed to not be able to figure out how we can do it or even do it. I really believe in the programming. Imagine if everyone on earth had not been covered some way from connecting. We're all connected. They couldn't trick us into doing anything that they want.
Totally agree. Totally fucking agree. I was just mentioning this too. I was doing a mentorship session the other day with this person, and I was just saying that. I said, I get a lot of people in my classes say, B, I'm scared to open up my gifts because I saw somewhere that you can attract demons and other lower entities by opening yourself up just in a general sense. And I'm like, look, y'all, I just had this fucking conversation literally 4 days ago. I said, there has been so much propaganda in the Hollywood movies about, if you think about spirits, it's always dark. It's demons. It's the exorcism of this, the exorcist that. Or if you see the ghost movies, it's always scary. Some ghost haunting someone because they didn't get their right porridge. I don't know. I'm just making shit up right now, but you know what I mean? Like always some kind of ghost shit. They're always trying to scare us with some exorcism, some demons or ghosts are scary. Right. And
True.
So what I've calculated was that Hollywood is doing all this intentional propaganda just to discourage, like you said, Lucia, discourage people from discovering that part of ourselves, to really realize that we are spirits technically in this human shell. And we do have just how easy, that's why people can go into a haunted house and feel weird vibes. And they're not psychics, right? Oh, only psychics can feel. No, humans can feel shit, but we've been taught that, only a few people can feel it. No, everyone. That's why you can go to a home and feel like something's off here, but I do believe that with the propaganda movies, it has discouraged people from even looking into that direction of trying to connect to spirits. And it scared everyone away. And that's why when I get people saying, B, I'm scared, I'm like, look, just the fear itself is the block itself. Like remove the fear, unless you're practicing Satanism for like 20 years and really into the dark occult, like maybe some dark spirits will come after your ass, you know, or if the environment had a lot of murders or weird activity, you could pick up on something. But I mean, you know, ghosts don't attach themselves to people. Like when they, like if you leave a haunted place, it's not going to, now, granted, there's weird, there is certain weird, you know, there is weird shit that can still follow you. Can it technically happen? Yes, but it is rare. They're known to not attach themselves. They're usually in environments. Environments have what's called environmental energy or environmental energy residue. And that's where, you know, if the ghosts live there, they're going to stay there. But demons and shit, are they real? Technically, in some sense, yes, lower entities do exist, but I don't believe that just because you open yourself up a little bit and if you have good intentions, right? What happened to intentions, right? I thought everything was in the intention. Everything starts with the intention. If your intention is to connect with dark spirits, then my God, I guess that's what you're going to get. Same thing with anything in life.
But it's like, let's think about it from a 3D place. Let's say that you're like, oh man, I really got to get in shape. I'm going to work out. Working out is positive. But you also need to know, I can't do too much. I need to take care of myself. My cardiovascular health maybe has to build up, and I need to make sure to stretch. Like, this is the same thing. You're going to connect to another energy. I need to protect myself. I need to be in a good environment when I do it. I need to protect the area where I'm going, be sacred, bring in good vibration. Like, it's the same thing. It's like the stretching and making sure that you're ready for that. So I think that if you're in a really good, solid place spiritually, and then you're making sure that your intention is that you're only vibrating around with good things, and you're literally putting, because you're saying to the universe, I will only connect, and I'm only permitting good vibrational beings with good intentions to connect to me, then you're already saying to the ones that are lower vibrational bad intentions, say, you cannot come, I'm not inviting you. This isn't an open invite. It's exclusive to this kind of individual, this kind of being that I want to connect to.
Exactly. You hit it, girl. Hit the nail on the head. This is a motherfucking VIP club. Y'all can't even remember that Chris Brown song. Exactly. I'm sorry, I gotta do it. Do it. You already know. It was that fuck. I don't know what, I can't remember the chorus part, but he goes in the beginning of the song, he goes, y'all hating from outside the club, you can't even get in. Like literally. Like literally something cheesy like that, but literally we in the motherfucking VIP. So don't even worry about the lower entities. We in the VIP of spirit.
Yeah. You know what I love about you, V? Like Lucy and I are very much about like making things like easy, right? And digestible and very grounded. And I feel like you do the same thing, and you make things very real. You don't make it difficult for people to understand. You can make it relatable. And I think that's amazing. Like, that's something I really admire about you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. By the way, I'm on my period, so I'm about to have a freaking cry out of my eye just because how appreciative I am. No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Literally, guys, I was just, it happened yesterday. Like, I actually bleed on the full moon, literally. Like,
I used to be in sync with that too. Not anymore though.
Yeah. It just, I was bleeding on the full moon all year last year.
Sorry to any men listening, by the way.
Who cares?
Right. Sorry, guys.
Just fast forward.
Just fast forward. So only take 1 second, but just real quick. My cycle was lined up with the moon all year. And then when I moved to Arizona, it stopped.
Oh,
and then now it just kicked back in. So it stopped from September, October, November, December, and it just started this month. Interesting,
probably
right?
Just
so,
like it's probably shifted with the new energy.
Something it has to be. So yeah. So I was like, when Lorena was saying all the nice stuff, I was like, oh, it's so nice. I could feel a little tear in my eye. And I was like, wait, I am a tough bitch. It's just my period. But no. I appreciate it, Lorena. That was so nice. Because I feel like you guys have a similar energy to me where because I love your down to earthness, and it's like so hard to find. Like when people always ask me like, oh, what podcast is, I'm always suggest yours, because you guys are the only ones that I can actually say that's like I would never recommend something I don't listen to myself. And I would never recommend anyone that I don't intuitively feel, you know what I mean? I'm not aligned with myself, but I always felt like I can only listen to people who are down to earth. I cannot listen to someone who's just talking like we're in a lecture or something too long. But I think that's just my brain. My brain will start to fire off.
Like right? You. Yeah. I can't listen to I call it la spirituality. I cannot listen to too much la like, let's be real here.
Or too technical, you know what I mean? Where it just like goes over your head and you're like, I don't get it.
Yeah. That
sense.
stuff. Right. Yeah. Y'all see, you guys get it. Yeah. Because we've all been there, like, especially when when you're new to this journey and you find like the big people, right? Like the big people. And those are the ones where I don't have any names because I don't even it's been so long, but it's like, you know what I mean? When you Google like spiritual this, spiritual that, and you see only the big people pop up. And so those are the ones where it's like kind of technical, kind of like, so you have to get into this thing. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool.
You want to hear about how that person is still human. They're not perfect. They're not manifesting perfect. That's what I think, at least. They don't got it down all the time. I think you never stop being human, no matter how much you've learned. You still have, if not, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be incarnated. You're still like, got this, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right.
right. Exactly.
I want to see the real person, and I want to hear their struggles. So I can be like, oh my God, I feel that too. Like we have, oh wow. Okay. If he managed to, or she managed to get through that, I'll be able to figure it out from her maybe, or him, or, they'll help me figure it out in a way.
Exactly. I feel that way too. And then again, I'm in no way shitting all the technical people because, hey, every personality is attracted to whatever personality they're attracted to.
Exactly. So we need everything.
I always felt like, when people are always like, oh, it's not about like it's not better or worse. I consider it as like what you're more compatible with. You see how it takes away the energy of, I even I remember I had a reading with someone and they asked me like, B, how do I stop being competitive? Literally, it was a question to me the other day. And I remember I was channeling and I said, have you ever thought of seeing it as maybe someone's just more aligned with something or more compatible, that it's not something to take personally? Because if you start to get competitive or jealous, it means you're taking something extremely personally instead of seeing it, taking a step back and saying, you know what? That's okay that person's more aligned with this or more compatible with that. That doesn't take away from me. It's just kind of like someone saying they like spicy food or not spicy food. Are you going to be mad because someone's like, they don't like your spicy food, but they told you I don't really resonate with spicy food, but you can't take that personally. It's a choice, it's a preference. And I literally channeled that the other day and I still think about it sometimes. And that's what I think about with different personalities on, on these, in the spiritual community in general. Like everyone has their own cup of tea, and whoever, my tea just has a lot of fucking I love raspberry tea. This is so random, it has nothing to do with anything, but my tea has some kind of flavor, something,
I like herbal tea. Yeah,
herbal tea. I'm a tea bitch, so I'm with you. It could be any form of tea, honestly. Blueberry tea, hibiscus tea, sweet tea. I know, right? I love hibiscus tea. Is one of my favorites.
Have you ever tried drink that Lorena and I have that's typical from our country? It's called mate.
Yerba mate?
Oh my gosh, yes, yerba mate. I've had
Have you ever had it like the proper way, not the tea bag way, but like the proper way?
No, I have not, but I would want to try it.
Okay, so what we need to one day, like when all the stupid rules and the stupidity of what's going on finishes, we need to meet up somewhere, and we will teach you and we will show you and we'll bring you the tools to begin to make your own mate, because I drink half a liter every morning.
I miss it so much.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And I only got it through the regular grocery store stuff. So I can only imagine the actual.
It's not fruity though. It's very
it's bitter. It's bitter.
It will give you so much energy, more than coffee. I'm telling you right now.
It also, we're getting too dirty in this episode, but it also makes you poop.
Oh, even better. Love a clean system. Love blowing up the bathroom. Love it.
That's always good. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we don't want to take too much more of your time, V. As always, thank you so much. We're so grateful for you to take the time and come on here and talk to our audience and to chat about your experience. Because Lucy and I we're actually talking about that the other day somehow, and we're like, we had talked months before about having you on, and for whatever reason, life got in the way and we didn't message you. Yeah. But maybe you can share with everybody. Well, obviously I'll put it in the show notes, but maybe you can quickly just share how people can reach you and kind of what you do. We've been on the podcast before, but obviously you're a spiritual development teacher and you're a psychic medium. But maybe you can just give them some info where they can contact you.
Okay, awesome. All right, now I can get in business mode and shit. I'm like, let me get in business mode now. All right, so My website is www. I feel like I'm at an infomercial. www.goldenvee.com. And when I say Golden Vee, and you're going to see the links, it's not that serious. And then, guys, my Instagram is funny because I know I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. My Instagram is at GOLDNVEE. I couldn't fucking get the real Golden Vee, how golden should be spelled with the EN, because someone took it. But you know what? I adapt. That's what life's about, y'all. So anyway, I am a psychic medium, and my specialty is mentorship. I love psychic development. That is my specialty, is actually teaching psychic development. But I also do reading. So if you want to know about your life and whatever, I also do that. And just as I am here, this is exactly how I am in a class and in a reading. So this is the kind of sauce you need. This is who I am. I don't change up for anyone. But yeah, you can find me on my website or Instagram. I don't have TikTok. You know, it's funny. I feel so out the loop. Like I should have a TikTok by now. Like I created one under my name just in case I didn't want anyone to take my name. Like, so it's like, it's out there, but I don't know what to do. And I sound so old. Yeah. I just turned 31, but like, I feel older than that because I'm like, I just don't know what to fucking do anymore. Like, so I don't have a TikTok. I just have an Instagram. I don't even have a Facebook. I'm literally, I like to keep it simple. So Instagram at Golden Vee, which Lorena will plug in.
I'll put all those links there.
Yeah.
And I can definitely say,
yeah, just know I specialize in psychic development. And if y'all want to talk about alien encounters, we can also do a session for that because obviously I am that weird bitch to do it.
And we'll also link your podcast because you have an amazing podcast.
God, I was about to just get off.
Hello.
I totally forgot. Thanks for keeping me on track, girl. So yeah, my actual podcast, which is Dimensions of the Soul. It can be found on Spotify and everywhere else, basically. Dimensions of the Soul, basically like yours, you know, just talking about random shit, but just random stuff about anything. Underground aliens, conspiracies, just me talking shit, basically. So enjoy.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. All right, awesome. So we'll link all of that below, and then I'm sure we'll have you on again at some point this year.
We'll definitely have you on again this year. You'll be a regular.
Yeah.
Ooh, a regular. I feel like I'm at like a bar or something. I'm a regular. You know what I want. Get it.
You know my special.
You know my
usual. I love it.
Thanks, guys. This was
we love
great.
you, V.
Oh, I love you guys so much. And again, I cannot wait till when all this bullshit's over so we can just... You know where we should go? I keep seeing a vision of the water. It'd have to be somewhere either where Lorena lives or somewhere where you guys are from, Uruguay, somewhere where the water, I keep seeing water. Or
it might be where I will be living, maybe.
So we'll see about that.
Psychic shit. See, I'm seeing visions of water already. See, I'm tapping in. I saw the water. I see a lot of greenery. I see a mountain and I see water. It's a lot of water and there's like a little green. It's a lot of greenery, but it's a lot of water. So we'll see.
I love it. Okay. So we will sign off here.
Okay. Love you guys.
Bye.